Hello everybody, I hope you're having a good morning and for that matter a great day. I know it's been a while since the last time I uploaded. It's been, my recordings have been quite inconsistent lately. I've been having some minor technical difficulties, nothing major, so videos should return back to a somewhat normal schedule. I haven't been as consistent lately than before, but hopefully I can manage to fix my sleep schedule and a bunch of other things to make sure, I start uploading more consistently again. But either way, in today's video, we will be covering the Act 4 of the Archon Quest. It's going to be a fun time. If you guys don't remember what happened in the last Archon Quest, a lot happened. We were cast out into the desert by the scholars who more or less found out, the academia found out that we were scheming against them. So we ran off into the desert to try to figure out what Kusanale, or Nadia, had planned for us. She sort of had sent us these cryptic messages to try to get us to go towards the desert people and help them figure out what we need to do to overthrow this, false god that they're creating. So, more or less, we went out into the desert. We ran into Althatham, Sino, and a bunch of other people, Candace, Dia. But when we got to the village, Sino and Althatham got into a little bit of a fight, so Candace forced us all to make up. Once we made up, we realized that all the mad scholars had went missing, or not the mad scholars, the village keepers, as they're called in the village. But more or less, we are now tasked with the responsibility with Sino to go look for all these mad scholars and help them out to make sure that they're safe, and so we're able to help everyone. And eventually figure out what Nadia wanted us to figure out here so we can help all of Sumeru. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and let's get into the video. Well then, here we are at the village. I just have to quickly navigate the Archon Quest. And we have to go up there to the house to gather some local intel on the whole, disappearing of a lot of people. I mean, sure, they aren't necessarily like people that most people in society would like to interact with. They are kind of crazy, but, So we have to talk to you, Kanzan. I assume that's your name. I'll be honest, I probably horribly mispronounced it.
You where the missing scholars went?
Yeah.
You mean the village keepers?
Yes, the village keepers.
Let me think. When I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots. They shouldn't go around eating that kind of stuff.
I mean, that kind of stuff is okay to eat. It's not
did you notice
horrible for
anything
you.
else?
Anything else?
I mean, it's
No,
not
I think
necessarily
that's
the
all I
most
have to tell you.
nutritious.
Sorry.
Okay. Screw you too? You seemed awfully weird, in my opinion. I suppose he's just less cooperative. Whatever reason. Everyone has their own motives,
The scholars that have gone missing. Have you seen them?
We're not here to interrogate them.
You look like a real fighter.
He is.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar
Is
with
she
what goes on at
flustered
night.
because she likes him,
Honestly,
or?
I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others are good people?
I mean, they probably
Grandpa?
are very good people.
Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost twin, right? He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house that day and was doing something with his hands on the ground.
I mean, this is all
It feels
nice and
pretty
stuff,
surreal
but
now that I
like,
think
what
back on
was
it.
the information
Could
again?
someone
Can you
teach them
like?
how to do that?
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad, I wouldn't be able to do anything like that.
Who knows? Who knows?
Gotcha. Thank
I
you.
mean, maybe if you go mad, then sure, that may impact certain things, but like, who knows? You haven't gone crazy. I've never gone crazy before, so I have no clue how I'd act. Not a lot of useful information yet. Are you gonna be the one to change that?
Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently?
We're trying three different
the one who likes to sit
tactics,
and
I
space
see.
out near the village entrance.
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, your grandpa, huh? It's been a while.
Oh,
The
has
last
it?
time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests.
Ooh.
Like many people, she's really quite terrified of them.
It's annoying that they are
Speaking of my
terrified,
wife,
but
she's still always
it can't be
complaining about
helped.
how I don't make enough mora. That might explain why she's always mad at me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking care of him.
It was nothing. You're looking for him, right? Did he go for a walk and get lost?
We don't
Yeah.
exactly know.
Ooh, that's no good. Well,
We
once you
can't
found
have
him,
them just
come by my
wandering
place
about,
again
can
and
we?
I'll cook a little something for the both of you. I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're family. Please feel free to come by anytime.
Wow, what
That's sweet.
guy.
I wish he actually
Thank you,
provided
sir.
us a ton of useful information. What's wrong, Sino? Did something happen? I think he lied.
Don't say anything for now. Isak, stay here. Let's head over there. Stay quiet as you move.
Okay, kind of weird. I mean, a lot of the village people are kind of acting kind of weird, you know. They're not giving us a lot of useful information, I suppose. I don't exactly know what Sino's, you know, digging into, but I'm following him here. Okay.
It's all a bunch of nonsense.
Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will soon return to this world.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true ruler of this land. I've never believed in any other gods.
Oh,
Still,
okay.
You say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here anytime soon. What's your proof?
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever.
Oh?
Delvar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King's civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why, but it seems like there's some sort of connection between insanity and the Scarlet King.
I
Isn't it a
suppose.
sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as the final sacrifice for the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Yikes. I hope not.
Now that you say it, that does make some sense. Does this mean our lives are finally going to take a turn for the better?
Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe not.
Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where did you come from?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
I'd recommend listening to him and, you know.
Yeah, bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes. One wrong move, and he's gonna flay us alive.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match for this guy.
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
The things that you
Tell
just
me
said?
about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the Mad King will disappear and that the Scarlet King will return to this land. I'm not making this up. I swear.
I don't think you're making it up.
Hey, go on. Keep talking.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good life. you wanna
Yeah.
live like
They are
this
kind
if
of
you were in
rude
our
to you
place?
guys. I totally
The
understand
radicals were
that
even more thrilled
sentiment.
than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for the Scarlet King's speedy return. Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under the Scarlet King and fight for a share of the glory.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it.
I guess just keep talking about
At
the
first,
rhetoric.
I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace, just as the rumor said.
Oh, so
Please
whoever
don't beat me up just for mentioning
whoever
these
said the
rumors.
rumor.
If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty. I'm just saying what the others said.
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
I mean, it does have to do with the academia, right? Like, the Scarlet King was their one true god, and he did die in the Archon War, and it's kind of due to the Dendro Archon, so I can understand why when they're kind of subjugated, you know, being controlled by the academia, I understand why they hate him.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village. What about you, man? Have you seen him at all?
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's really not here right now.
I mean, Suno could
Sounds
tell
like
if
you're
you're
not too
lying or
close
not.
with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are their names.
I have many ways to stop you from talking, and many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be able to protect you.
Oh, that's where that
got
line
it.
is used
We'll do
from.
just as you said.
Okay. I thought that was towards us originally,
That's
which is a fair comparison, you
That
know.
was pretty terrifying.
Good thing we're not one of his, you know, his enemies.
He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
Yeah, all the more reason you'll get, you don't want to get on his bad side, Paimon.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places.
Yes, yes. Maybe we'll find something there?
Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Okay,
Just
so we're going
follow me.
directly to his house. So it seems like a group of people who believe in the Scarlet King probably abducted all of the scholars to prove their rumor to be true, and are planning to actually sacrifice them. Okay, Isaac, tell us where to go. My nose has been so itchy this entire recording, so I've been trying to itch it while off camera. It's kind of annoying.
Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers.
I mean,
Every now and then,
that's fair.
he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa.
I do think he's a good person. I don't think any of the mad scholars intended to go mad. They were just privy to too much information. And when you know too much, it's kind of hard not to go mad.
Well, this is where Grandpa usually stays.
Okay.
There sure isn't much here.
What's that smell? Sino, did you catch a faint whiff of an incense?
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same one as before.
It's definitely that one, you know, the one that made me faint.
But are you okay? Are you getting dizzy or need to lie down?
No, I'm
There's a
fine,
scent that you can
Paimon.
sense, but I can't.
Yeah.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And then he gave us a long lecture to explain all about how it worked.
Yeah.
So, you know Tainari.
Yep.
Huh?
Very well,
know him
actually.
too? Are you two friends?
Friends.
Now that I concentrate, I can also make out the scent of incense.
Yes.
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture you too.
Yeah,
No.
probably not.
No
I'm
need.
just a little bit sensitive to it. I can't handle the smell very well.
Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house?
No, I encountered it in the forest when a scholar was meditating.
In the forest. For a scholar.
Let's keep looking for more clues. It may have something to do with why the mad scholars are gone. I mean, a scent like that is good reason to speculate that. What's up, Sino? Sense something?
What are you looking for, Sino?
Sino.
Here it is.
Here what is?
Take a look right here.
Oh, faint footprints?
Paimon doesn't see anything.
It looks like
the
covered up.
traces have been completely buried in the sand.
Yeah.
There are footprints here.
It looks like footprints that have been
And the
covered in
size and
sand.
shape. They belong to an adult male. This pattern is a common one from this area. Local shoes.
Probably
This
someone
was
from
probably
the
someone from the
village.
village,
Probably the
scent is
person
quite
who
faint.
kidnapped them.
but still extant. The footprints head in the direction of the door.
So someone else has been here.
But who would come looking for Grandpa? He doesn't have any friends.
I'm speculating
We'd have
it's
to ask
someone
whoever
who
lured him
isn't
away
a
with the
friend.
incense.
Lured him away so that what happens?
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent?
I mean, you can get lured away by food all the time, Paimon.
Hey, what's wrong with liking good food? Everyone's got something
I
they
never
love in
said
life.
there was anything wrong.
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since the smell supposedly helps them clear their minds and discover new knowledge.
Yes.
Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days, and will follow the scent whenever it presents itself.
No, Grandpa.
So someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh.
Is
Still,
it to
why would they wanna
resurrect
abduct
the
all scholars?
King Deseret or the Scarlet King?
Are the rumors really true?
I doubt that they're actually true. I think it might have something to do with the academia.
Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have
Or
something
maybe it
to do
has
with
something
the
to
radicals?
do with other things. I don't
It's
actually
highly
know. Maybe
likely.
it's just the Fatui,
Please,
specifically.
you have to save my Grandpa. Grandpa's never done anything wrong.
I doubt he has.
Please help him.
I will gladly
Sounds
go
like
and
we better
try.
help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let whoever took him get away
I
with it.
wonder.
Let's
If
head
Neela's
to Aru
passive
Village and inform
only
Candace
works-
and the others about what we learned here. After that, we'll set off to find the scholars.
Okay. I wonder, if Neela's passive only works if you have a full team of Dendro and Hydra characters, does that mean that if you have a trial character, it stops working? I mean, it's just a thought. That's a horrible thought, and I hope that isn't an oversight of theirs, but I'm actually kind of scared about that. But Neela's passive's kind of fun. Neela's fun to play. I've been enjoying her a ton. As you can see, I've almost fully built her. I haven't leveled up her sword or her talents at all yet, but I've been super excited about getting her to 90, which is really cool. You know, level 20 sword. But yeah, let's go talk to the others and see what they have to say.
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better. That'd be my choice, too.
We're back, Candace. We've got a lot to tell
Talking
you.
about clothing? I love
Ah,
talking about
Welcome
clothing.
back.
Hello.
Sounds like everyone's friends already.
Oh, Dia's here too.
Friends, I guess. I mean,
You
I don't
bet.
hate anyone.
So, everything goes smoothly?
Not
Reasonably.
necessarily, but
I'll
reasonably.
hate them didn't go with you?
No?
haven't seen him at
Is
all.
he gone?
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you. I guess he must have gone off on his own.
Maybe
Did
he
you find
did.
out anything useful?
Yeah, we found out that someone was trying to
I
lead them
see.
away.
So someone used a kind of incense to lead the exiled scholars away from the village.
Mm-hmm. Probably had something to do with the Scarlet King.
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it.
Really?
Far
Because
as I
it's
know,
like
the
all
kind
the
of incense
talk
you just mentioned
nowadays.
is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make a profit here. Not to mention, making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the patience to make or sell something that requires that kind of effort. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
Like the Fatui
So what should we do
or
then?
the
Do we
Academia.
go back to the academia and search for leads there?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me on your team, so you get an extra tip.
Oh?
Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he mentioned.
Oh.
If
Who
Paimon
may they
remembers
be?
correctly, the leader of the radicals is some guy called Delavar.
Ah,
Delavar?
yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Enger, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crook. A whole
Ooh.
lot of them are known around these parts.
We did walk up to a Jabari.
These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their only chance at overthrowing the Academia.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty accurate story, too.
Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert.
Dia's eyes
Anyway,
are so
that's
cool.
my guess why they've chosen to become radicals.
Tia, you're amazing! You really know this place inside and out.
But Dia, her makeup's great.
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, son.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. All that
Yeah.
word about you has already gotten out. The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. You survive on making connections out here. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust.
Yes.
I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me.
Fine.
Good. Then we've got a plan.
She's been,
The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebot
we're trying
with
to
me,
lure
and we'll try
that
our
man
best
over
to
there
figure out
into
where
a
the mad
trap.
scholars have been taken. Sino, you'll have to stay in the village and continue investigating on your own.
All right, sounds like a plan.
They're gonna try to ambush us. It's so obvious. I mean, pretty good. Sometimes I think that the teleporting
Sounds
is a
like you're
little
starting to get
too
familiar with the
easy.
area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall even exist? It's almost
Unreal.
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms?
I mean, a wall can block sandstorms, but maybe it's not its only purpose.
It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose, keeping out people like us. Sumeru
yes.
is run by wise and mighty sages.
Yes,
To them,
people like us.
Us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded.
I'm a
at their
desert dweller
whim.
now.
We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control.
I know she
Nothing
did
more.
me too.
Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The Academia believes we're underserving. Geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate. Even though the Academia knows very well that we're humans. Just
Yeah.
as they are.
They don't care though.
That's terrible.
I'm not surprised at all. Ooh, dude, the music in
Tear
this
down
game's
this wall
so
with my own
good.
hands if I could.
Suddenly the music's just I understand how she feels.
Hey, Thea. You're not
I
thinking about
understand
doing
how she
anything
feels.
scary, are you?
No, not at all. This place just gets me thinking. that's
Growing
all.
up in a poor
Besides,
neighborhood
we're
tells
here to
me
procure
everything I need to
information,
know.
aren't
Yep, we gotta catch those.
Shh. Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say.
Yeah,
We don't want
I
anyone
would
to
not
find out what
recommend
we're here for.
attracting any
Our
attention
mission
that's
started the moment we
unwanted.
arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find someone I know.
But you know, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I sort of get the whole feeling of when you're unwanted by people of a higher wealth.
Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean
Of course
you
not.
don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a drink too?
Zaki. Finally, a friendly
Zaki?
face.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land?
Yes, yes. Nice to meet you.
Hello, I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it?
Drinking buddy?
Drinking buddy?
A fellow drinking buddy.
We've had drinks together a few times. You could say we go back a ways. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and respectful nowadays.
Especially Outlanders like me,
Absolutely.
who are like
Much
blonde.
better than those people on the other side of the wall. So, Dia, are you looking for someone?
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Good
Of
question.
course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together just a few days ago.
Oh.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah.
How thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet these days. So, you came here to help him out?
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together? Besides, Delavar and his friends have muscle.
She's really using
They'd be
me
a
as
good
an
fit for
alibi
escorting
too.
goods.
I'm like
Yes,
a good.
How considerate of you.
I'm like an Outlander
Delavar's my
too.
friend too, so of course I can take you to him. Come with me.
Okay, so I guess we are gonna meet them. Do you think they're expecting us? My guess is they are, but
Are we there yet?
and they're gonna give us a warm welcome.
Yep, this is the place.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on. A wild stab in the dark.
Like
Yeah,
lambs
like
to the
lambs
slaughter?
To the slaughter.
Oh no! It's an ambush!
I could have told you that one.
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look
Yes,
for the missing
the
scholars.
Academia.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake!
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall
Yes,
for your little
the
business
strongest
deal
one.
nonsense?
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
I'm not exactly
Yeah,
surprised.
I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have stronger bonds than you think. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's
Of course,
nothing
of
more
course.
we'd like to see than the desert
Gonna
folk
spout more of your
overthrowing the
rhetoric.
Academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Enger. You're here too, huh?
Oh, the two brothers, I see.
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King despise the most.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is
I mean,
greater than the Dendro Archon.
Sino's also a fellow
Little did I
desert
know,
dweller.
You don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, Gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors. Anything else I'm missing out on?
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic.
And friends.
You're all like a pack of street rats.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can become my friend.
Enough talking! Get him!
I mean, yeah. I feel like that's a sentiment
Just as I
where
expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
this isn't gonna be too hard.
Let the show begin.
If you don't know, I genuinely believe that Nilu is stupidly strong. And for good reason. Just like that. Done.
Impossible! How could you?
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said after all. And of course, you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but you've never seen me in action.
Yeah.
Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fighting. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust of others.
Yeah.
That's what you thought.
I mean, it
right?
also doesn't help that I'm also stupidly strong.
Lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching you.
Yep.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it.
Fall
I figured as much the
directly
first time
on
we
your
drank
face.
together. You all thought you were so smart.
Pathetic.
Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we
You,
were in
you didn't
our
know
village?
that, Paimon? I guess Paimon's typically
no task
the
can
one
be
out
done
of the
without
loop.
preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Yeah.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you let them report back.
Yep.
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some time.
Those names you mentioned.
Oh, you mean the funny names she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, Scarlet bandit?
Probably just names they call themselves.
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, are the nicknames they came up with for themselves.
Of course, of course.
Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how the Scarlet King is a superior deity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down.
So, who is the duck-tailed beard crook?
That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical too?
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses based on my impressions.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
What a genius idea! Well, that's an expert mercenary for you.
Of course, of course.
You're too kind. It was straight from the usual playbook, if I'm honest.
I'm not surprised.
That
You
thing
are
were
pretty
saying
smart
before,
after all.
Is it really true?
About what?
What?
How mercenaries only care about
No.
Mora. And that anyone's a friend as long as there's a profit.
Not exactly
Does
true.
that bother you?
I don't think you're that kind of person.
What makes you so sure?
Because even without an employer, you still help us out.
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other desert folk?
I don't suppose that's inaccurate.
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon.
But you don't necessarily have
I've heard
anything
a lot of
for her
nice things
either.
about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the lives of everyday people.
Unless they were truly compassionate.
I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. It's all the Academia's trickery.
Yeah, and they're all being played by the Fatui.
I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything wrong.
Dia.
That's fair.
Anyway,
I mean, everyone
looks
has
like we're
their
done
own
with business
moral
here.
code.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's tie him up and bring him to the village.
Okay. I mean, even you, I suppose, would probably follow that trend of, yes, you probably do like the person who pays you more. That's just a duh, but obviously you're not the type of merc who will only accept a job based on how much
This
money.
should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
Or else you'd be a worse person for it.
All right. I'll be in touch. Until then, please stand by.
Okay.
Candace, do you need any help?
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her, so you can too. She's been guarding Aru Village for quite some time now. If anyone is qualified to question the offenders, it's her.
Yeah,
While I'm
no, I
questioning
don't doubt
them,
that.
Why don't you pass some time by exploring the area?
I
I'll meet
guess.
you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler.
Sounds good to me.
As for these
suppose.
idiots, let's just hope they live to see
Definitely
another
not
day.
gonna just time skip after this. Well, any good news, Dia? As of yet. Hello.
Right on time.
Did you learn anything from the criminals? I wouldn't really call them
We'll know any
criminals,
moment
but
now.
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends for a long
suppose they
time?
grew up together?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
That's
Oh, Paimon
hard
knows
to
what you
find,
mean.
to
Like
be
a lot of
honest.
martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep,
Yeah,
I guess you could
Paimon.
put it that way.
Martial
It
artist.
takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Us
It's
mercs,
very
on the other
easy
hand,
to abuse
we pretty
your
much live
power.
from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great too.
Really? Thanks for that.
I mean, yeah. I'd like to be good friends with you.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's pretty early too.
I mean,
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
staying around.
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh.
You mean you taught Candace some more persuasive methods?
I
Right.
suppose. Yeah, okay.
Come on in, everyone.
Oh,
Come on.
okay.
Let's go inside.
Cool. Not gonna actually have her come out at all. You're gonna make us go inside. I see. They better give us some info on how they kidnapped all the scholars.
Candace, whoa, you look furious.
I mean, are you that surprised? She
Do
was
I?
just interrogating people.
What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Yeah.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry.
Yes,
I'm sure everyone
he
present would
kidnaps.
agree.
They kidnapped some of your
Yes,
citizens
Yes, ma'am. Please.
over
don't
some
beat us
baseless
anymore.
rumors,
We're
spread
gonna
by the
die.
scholars, no less.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
She mastered it really quickly.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The absurdity is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal. Tell me, what would you do to you in my position?
Probably kill them.
Mercy! Please!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. And war serves no one.
Only death.
People of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And
And
that is
kill a
not
lot of people.
responsibility that you can afford to
Wars are
shoulder.
never a good thing, in my
We
opinion,
understand.
but
We're sorry.
I think that's a shared
I'll
sentiment
tell you
across the
everything I
board.
know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the
Wow.
tavern. That's how
I'm
we
so
ended up hearing about the
surprised.
Scarlet King's resurrection. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in the Scarlet King's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called village keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Okay.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection
So,
process.
where are they now? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all hit. He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth.
The third time's the
Traveler,
charm.
Go on.
Okay, to the mystery junction I shall go. Do you have any idea on who the mystery person might be?
You have to
Perhaps
believe
someone
me.
from the
If I knew that, I
academia?
would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way.
No way.
That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself the Scarlet King's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are
Knocked
correct,
him all out
this
cold.
mystery man they speak of could be from the academia.
Yeah. That was
Some time
kind
ago,
of obvious.
people from the academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part of our community. It strikes me now that this secretive character shares the same goal they had.
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village
Yes.
keepers right into their hands.
No surprise there.
They were the ones who brought them here to begin with.
Okay, so
Now
it's
they're trying to
definitely
take
the
them back.
doctor trying to
We aren't gonna
sacrifice
let
them
that
to
happen.
turn Skirmish into a
academia
god,
again.
but how is my question. The desert, King Deseret's resurrection is just a academia's misinformation campaign.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the
We
village
were informed
keepers?
this by the second in command.
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars.
Ooh.
Regardless,
Cast them
our
out,
top
now you
priority
want
now
them
is
to
locating
use
the
them?
village keepers.
Wow.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes.
Here's hoping
Pack
we
up
can
and
find
get ready to
something.
leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready.
Oh, a cutscene.
Let's get some food in us.
Not
and
a
then
cutscene,
we'll...
but hi, Alphatham.
Where did you
I thought it was a cutscene.
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Where have you been anyway?
Good question.
Hey,
I doubt he's gonna spare us the
You
information.
never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname!
Go ahead, I won't stop you. My mom's got nothing.
Obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so hard.
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. so clearly I stayed in the village to investigate. Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of this matter, yes?
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well take the search elsewhere.
Yeah, to try to find the scholars.
Enough with the silent treatment!
Maybe he's giving us some time to think.
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
Who, Sino?
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
That's true.
Yeah, you're all talk!
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
It is kinda
To be
suspicious,
honest,
I'll
we
be
aren't
honest.
really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts.
Yeah, you are correct, but
Not
at
to
least
mention that
Sino's
going separate
acting
ways
better.
allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Enlighten us?
Right here in the village?
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But before that, you need to understand where she's coming from.
Okay.
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing?
Depends. Some of them like us, some of them don't.
In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
No.
You mean some of them lied to us?
You surprised, Paimon?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again,
But it does
these
kind
people
of.
have their reasons.
It
Remember
does
what
kind of,
Candace said.
depending on the intent.
Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether the Scarlet King or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance to them.
Yeah, they only
By
care about their
contrast,
current
the perils of their daily
well-being.
lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village.
I mean, not necessarily. I didn't think there was zero information we could find, but I thought that we had searched around enough. But so you're saying we can find new information from someone who we've already spoken to, assuming that, you know, the girl who was happy to
Glad
delight
you're following
us.
along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived.
I'm not
The
surprised.
reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors introduce unpredictability into the equation.
Yes.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You look like a real fighter.
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking
I
about
could have
the
told you that.
I mean,
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so
Okay, so you're
I'm
telling
not
me
too
she
familiar
lied
with
to
what
save
goes
her
on
own
at night.
skin, but not necessarily truly lied. She only
Remember,
kept the truth.
She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have collapsed long ago.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru Village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
To keep herself safe.
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out of this.
Okay. I mean, I do suppose that we aren't necessarily the most intimidating people, me and Paimon. Paimon's not intimidating at all, and me, of course, you know, I'm a little intimidating, but
Miss Shawnee,
most people
as we discussed
underestimate my
I've brought someone with me.
capabilities.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but How can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
Yeah, I feel like most people are that simple.
May I call you Traveler?
Sure.
Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something.
What about?
Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better?
Probably not.
Why's that?
Because it will only result in more conflict.
That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Depends. I can't promise anything, but I'll do the best that I can.
Yeah, we came here from
I mean,
another nation,
I come
so
here to help
it isn't
people.
wrong
That's
to
my
be
whole
weird,
goal. And that's
and
what I've always
we
been trying
aren't
to
really
do.
residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
That is the honest truth. We really just go town to town helping who we believe is right. That's it.
I want to trust you.
Okay.
My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Oh, Hatham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
The
like
fact
bite
is
your
that
head
when-
off or anything.
Only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru.
That is
Some
understandable.
believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King.
Does that mean
I don't
like
belong to
Scholar
either
came
side,
over here and just fell in
neither
love with the
side would
desert
want
folk?
me.
I mean, not
Speaking
that
of
weird,
which,
I guess.
The radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yes.
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to
I
bloodline
could have told
and
you that.
beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives.
Of course.
Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure she'll keep your
I'm
secret.
not gonna go telling everyone in the village.
I'll tell you what I told Alhaith. I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion.
Rough?
It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
Weird.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
I do suppose. That makes a lot of sense. Could you make out where the sounds were coming from?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
Wouldn't happen to
I
be
think
coming
they
from
used
that
to use
direction,
for
would
treating
it?
Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Treating Elazar? Oh. Oh no. Oh no. We need to go check out that hospital.
Let's go.
That's horrible. Horrible to say the least. If anyone's curious on why I think so, just know Collie's backstory and you'll know. So this is totally tied to the
Is this
Fatui.
the place? It's in terrible shape.
It has to be, right? Like, it has to be tied to the Fatui in some way or another. Like, I mean, it's a treatment place for Elazar, you know, they have a history of treating Elazar. It's just like, it'd be the perfect connection if you like remember things. I think it would be perfect if they did. Oh, enemy reinforcements? Wow. I didn't think they would have us fighting that many enemies, but
Germinate! Come on, we can do
do
it.
this and then
Hurt with all my
get
strength.
her passive reworking.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Nilou is remembering to keep her passive up. I like running her as a main DPS sort of character. I know that a lot of people scream, don't do this or don't do that. But like, if you run her as a main DPS and you do the sword form constantly, it's perfectly good. What were we even expecting?
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that.
I mean, close enough.
He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
I mean,
This is the one.
are you oh yeah, I forgot you're a Dendrovision. I was gonna say, are you a Dendro element user or no? Cause I have plenty of those. I could very easily activate it.
Let's go in and take a look.
It would make perfect sense if this was connected to the Fatui. It would be a nice callback.
Hey, we haven't found squat. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
I'm certain we
Patience.
aren't.
Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then,
Oh, are we gonna do a bit of a stakeout?
I'm taking a break.
Oh yeah.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
Are you that surprised, Paimon?
See.
Okay, sure.
The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion, in contrast
Physics?
with an object in forced motion? Huh?
Okay, so he's talking about
External
physics.
influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
That makes sense. I mean,
So, you got...
Oh, Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya.
fair.
How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
You know it wouldn't kill you to read a book once in a while either, right?
Hey, Paimon's your Tibet travel guide.
Not your...
Knows plenty of useful stuff already.
Are you not my reading guide as well?
That the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated.
Okay. Paimon's the best. As always. I love Paimon. I'm not one for reading a lot of heavy books, I'll be honest. I don't do it that often in my own time. I like reading. Like, I read manga, but, like, that's about it. I'm not, like, a big reader.
Huh? What was that sound?
I didn't
There it
hear a
is.
thing.
It's
Oh,
coming
no,
from
I
that
hear it
direction.
now. Like a...
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Just move the lid.
Something is off about the interior here.
That was the most obvious trapdoor I've ever seen in my life. And you're telling me you guys couldn't figure that one out? No, it's locked.
As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow.
Sand walls.
Tucked another hospital into this one.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
I'm glad we didn't bring Kali along. Okay, so the plan is to just try to find those elemental pillars that will allow us to activate it, right? Okay, there's one up here.
I'll protect
Oh, I'm forced to fight these weird raven things. I forget what they're called.
Here. Yeah.
Okay, that's one activated. I see one over there, and I assume one over here. I don't have Animo equipped. Can I activate it even though? Hopefully. Oh yes, I will. That's nice. I'm glad that they allow us to activate it without having to like blow the sand off of it. That would be kind of annoying in my opinion. Not like it's a bad thing either, but...
Hi. Positions. Yeah.
Such a good thing. I'm being absolutely ransacked in the corner here. Ooh, backup.
Just like we rehearsed.
I suppose I can get it with just these two. I was debating on whether or not I would want to Dendro Traveler alt. Because if you don't know, Dendro Traveler with Nilou, especially their alt, is one of the most insane combos. At least in my opinion. Okay, we managed to kill everyone. That wasn't too hard. Now we can go to the lower levels. I wonder if that will unlock all of it, or if we have to, you know, it's similar to like Domain, where we have to go through multiple steps. I'm assuming the trapdoor is only there to limit your ability to randomly wander in here. I mean, I genuinely think that this might be the place tied to Kali and her past. If I had to guess, that's my best guess of what this is probably used for. That or one of these, you know, used to be tied to them.
Look, there's someone over there.
We need to be careful.
Good idea. Let's approach him slowly without...
I'm assuming he's one of the mad scholars. Or village keepers, as we call them. What? Do you recognize him? Or something?
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather. Also, why is he the only one here?
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
I'm not surprised.
He's Rizak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
Rizak?
He's a scholar too? Is
Hmm.
he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Rizak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life.
So maybe someone forced him into insanity. So how did he become like this?
Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Rizak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him.
Perhaps.
There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Probably people, if I had to guess.
People?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Rizak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Oh.
What?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos.
Oh!
Don't you think
so
the symptoms look familiar?
You're telling me they can force insanity onto people by forcing them to partake in a goddess capsule. Or a god capsule. Just a quick cutscene. The Emirat guy who went mad.
Oh, now that you mention
Emirate.
the same way.
I'm very bad about
Correct.
my
The Academia is
pronunciations.
behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the Academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the Village Keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru Village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru Village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the Academia.
I'm not surprised.
As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers.
Yeah, so they're
Life
using
for the
them as
Desert Dwellers has
scapegoats.
been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises.
Of course,
Even if
and the
complications
Academia are
arise,
well known
people
for
will see
making
that
empty
those involved are
promises.
all followers of the Scarlet King, and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Yes.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
A bit
With
happenstance,
the village chief's theory,
but
too.
it happens.
But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to Aru Village in the first place?
I
Why does it
mean,
want them back now?
perhaps they
Throughout this
found a
process,
use for them.
One thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics.
And then they
After
became
that,
exiles.
They were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons.
I see.
An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
Resource? For what exactly?
Dreams.
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
Yeah.
With the technology of the
I mean, it
Sumeru
has to come
Academia,
from somewhere,
it's entirely
Paimon.
possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
How did you learn of this technology?
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
Oh.
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
It's possible. No, that can't be right. Most of the mad scholars we had contact with, yeah, that's
The look
they're
on your
trying
face
to turn
tells me you've
Balladeer
realized
into
the
a
answer.
god. The Academia needs people who have been exposed to the divine consciousness.
That's right. To some scholars,
Not any
gaining knowledge
person
about the
could
gods
be
is their
thrown
entire
into
life's
canned
pursuit.
knowledge.
Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to.
Yes.
However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge?
Good question.
The Academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge. But what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
I mean,
All
Paimon, you've
scholars seek
seen
to
what
expand
it's
the
done to
horizons of
people. Why
knowledge.
would you want
But I'm not
that?
particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information
too.
from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the Academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of
I mean,
course.
that's
The
good.
Academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed.
And how are
This
you supposed to
matter
learn
needs to be
from things that
corrected,
have been
Just
destroyed?
like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Tibet
Yeah,
as well.
suffering happens
What do
everywhere,
you plan
even
to
in
do
our
about
world.
that? Save every last person?
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Your motives are more specific and personal.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism.
Which
I
is
do
a
what I
fair
want. The
assessment.
divine knowledge capsule is something
I'm a bit
I
more
want
of
to
a hero
investigate in
complex
full.
myself, so,
That doesn't
you know,
mean I'm
helping
willing to take
people is
action for the sake
kind
of
of
a
my
few
goal in
strangers.
life. He rejects the notion of a greater morality. He might make for a better ally.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
You're probably right.
You're a
Though I must
weirdo.
say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out.
I mean,
Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
especially when your uniqueness is common morality.
If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Damn. He just dissed the heck out of Miss Shani. So what do we do about him in the corner?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us.
Okay, are we just gonna
We'll work out our next step
drag
after we
him or
return to Aru
something?
village.
You want to like carry him, wife hold? Are you just gonna throw him on your shoulder and just carry him back? I don't know how do we carry him out? Also, what's this? An ancient key. I suppose that's gonna be used for something later. Probably a subquest. Well, everyone, we have come back with some good news. I like how we've had an opportunity to spend time with
rest and
each
take some
of the
water.
main characters in this quest, which is pretty good.
What's the situation?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
He's a bit lost, to say the
So,
least.
At one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
That's to our knowledge so far.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now.
Yeah,
Yet,
I assume for a very long
they fled
time.
once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail.
It's
Why is
possible?
Yeah, why is that?
We may have a mole in our midst.
That's not healthy speculation.
One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
But it's also not healthy to start pointing fingers at people, Candace.
Friendship's that shallow?
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue.
Care to share your thoughts? I assume you're gonna accuse Sino.
Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Alhaitham, since you were always acting alone.
I know. You have a point, but I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
Good
What are
question.
you trying to say?
Why
Do you
are
still
you
remember
here,
who you
Sino?
are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, The academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you?
So maybe you're saying that they're following him and
If
not
you want to raise a
necessarily that
vicious
he
wolf,
intends to be
you
the
need to
mole?
make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
Are you that
It's not that
surprised?
simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once.
Oh.
Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
Yeah, but it's
The Akasha
important
is capable
enough
of
to
computation.
monitoring you.
The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
I'm not exactly surprised by this.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from.
Yeah.
Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
You're so trustworthy that you're an asset to our enemies.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Exactly.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now! If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
One step behind him.
Yep, that's right!
So they're gonna
They'll
put
want to
them
proceed
back.
in the direction opposite of where I'm going.
You're getting smarter, Paimon. So they predict that we will,
There's also something I want
not
to
go there.
investigate.
Okay.
Let's go, guys! After it! Please, wait! I want to go too!
You want to go too? If so, you have to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful.
I'll probably take care of the child. Probably.
Everyone,
I don't know. I
I
might
leave
just
him in your
let
hands.
leave the. Okay, fine. I'll take care of the child.
Remember, Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
We're missing someone? I mean, Dunyazad left without saying anything. Yes, that's kind of weird. I called Dia Dunyazad. Lamau. I assume that this is where Sino came from then. So we're going one step behind him. I thought we would just go back to where we were prior, because that would make some sense, but even farther back, it makes more.
Where do we go from here?
Sino, do you remember the route you took?
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
Okay. It's weird that Dia isn't here with us.
Like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep.
Not
One
surprised.
time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
You can keep going, Sino. I'm not gonna lose you that easily.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work.
Now isn't the time for complaining, Paimon.
Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there looks like it's buried really deep.
I mean, it doesn't look buried that deeply to me, but...
These are likely fragments of an academia-developed device, something akin to a headset. Looks like there were
looks
more
like
than
a
one
headset.
village keeper. They must have been escorted this way because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
Okay. Are we actually gonna have to look around? After a short while, you dig up a different device?
What we're searching for? It looks kind of scary.
I mean, it
This
does
is
look like a
definitely
helmet.
device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan.
It must
They
have
been
been
attacked along the way.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Grandpa.
Is it that
I
surprising?
hope you're okay.
Don't worry. Your grandpa's gonna be fine.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I agree.
Let's keep going.
I totally
The
forgot
kids have
about
gone
the
full.
sandstorm. I'll be honest, I haven't. It's been several days since the last time I did the first one, so I totally forgot.
It's so tiring.
But you're flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Of course it is.
Common knowledge, don't you know? Paimon flying gets impeded by different
Voices,
terrain.
over there.
Sounds like an argument?
It sounds like an argument.
Oh.
Whoa, you have really good ears.
I can't see anything. You see, I'm locked in place.
Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do.
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you? Dia!
Damn it.
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on theirs?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself, I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
I think we were a bit hasty.
Shut it, Paimon.
How about you shut it? Don't tell Paimon to
Whichever
shut
side you
it.
pick, nothing could deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting the Scarlet King. Once our Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone.
Dude, the pyramid's
Have all your
so
years
cool.
as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring the Scarlet King back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life. Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million, we must be willing to give everything we have.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these two men. They're also against the academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the Academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed the Scarlet King. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the Academia?
Huh? I'll say so.
These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the Academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me. However,
it would be very bad luck for you.
Perhaps even find out the truth.
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the Academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the Academia?
Their methods.
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and the same applies to the Academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the Academia's way of doing things?
You Academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself clear enough. I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm.
Yikes. Really gonna cut off her right arm?
If you're serious about taking on the Academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate! He just wants to make things more difficult!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Raman, I'm holding up—
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Yeah. She's gonna stand right there and take it. I know her. The shocked expressions on everyone's faces.
Stop!
She had no intent in running.
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces?
Ah, yes.
You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Okay. How may we assist you in taking the Academia down then, I guess? I guess we're finally taking a side in the fight. I mean, we always were against the Academia, but using the Eremites and, like, becoming directly people of the Eremites is a bit much.
I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia!
I mean, you would have taken it either way.
Crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Nothing would have changed.
And I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
Please don't do that ever again. That is, yeah, I have to agree with myself here, you know, Lumine. Don't do that, please. Getting your arm cut off just
I'm
for
sorry,
heroism
but sometimes
is
when
not
you're out on a
always
limb,
the best
you gotta
idea.
double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened. I should have trusted you.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa, so I'll do whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic. Perhaps a little madness is essential to be successful in research.
I'm not
Why
completely
does it feel like
surprised.
He's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself.
That's even worse. When you use praise to another person to brag about yourself, that's horrible. I think he was just stating the truth.
Okay, let's get moving.
I don't think him talking
head
about
back to
his
the village and rest
insanity
up.
is
Today was
bragging,
just a
Dia.
trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
Okay, I don't know what noon tomorrow's really gonna be like, but... I mean, so far the Archon Quest this time around has been really fun. I like the characters, I think they're all unique. Dia is also just one of my favorite characters, just because she's very similar to my own philosophies.
Looks like we have everyone here. Isak, are you sure you want to come with us?
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring Grandpa home.
Okay.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday.
Yeah.
No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be very upset with you.
Fine.
Dude, that's totally a friend remark. I just feel at home in the desert, you know? I grew up in a desert. I'm still living in a desert. I mean, it's not like the most traditional desert. But, I mean, it's not like this, you know? It's not a sprawling place, but it's where grass doesn't really grow anymore. When you go out into, like, the countryside, it's just nothing but dead weeds and ferns and a bit of sand. A lot of sand. But, you know, I just feel at home.
Huh. They got here before us.
I just feel at home.
Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Yes, it was totally 5 minutes. That's totally 100% what it was, Paimon. You didn't have to admit that too.
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. You brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Just one mad scholar? That's it? That's the only person you're bringing?
Why is there only one of them?
Rahman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Sounds fair, don't you think?
Who said it was fair?
Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
Couldn't you have done 1 or 2 more? You know, 3 people for 1? He has a little bit more value than
right
one
there.
mad scholar. Ooh, cutscene.
Wait, mate! What do you think you're doing?
Grandpa!
Don't you see this blade?
fight here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
Paimon's dizzy.
Understandably slow? Maybe because you were spun around into a sinkhole? Is everyone okay? Where's the Eremites?
Ugh, this day's going just great.
What a nuisance.
Agreed.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body.
No doubt. It looked very similar to how she actually is. You finally believe me.
The dendro Archon. The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no, he's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple here?
Not completely surprised. Ooh, it looks all nice and
Seems that
pretty.
when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to the Scarlet King's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now. It
And
could
we
have
just
been an
happened
underground
to-
palace in the distant past.
We just happened to shake up the ground enough.
Miracle. Praise the Scarlet King.
What's he doing here? And his men too?
Okay, so they're perfectly
They
fine.
must have fallen down here with us. Pretty lucky if you ask me.
Honestly.
Most of them seem in really bad shape. Except for him. He got off lightly.
Of course he did.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
He's not actually gonna go in there, is he?
I mean, if you
As it
are, maybe
happens,
we could
I
help.
want to take a look inside too.
Of course.
Don't you think it's curious? One minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of the Scarlet King's civilization appear. Two major deities are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Paimon thought you weren't interested in gods.
Of course
Indeed.
not.
In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being, or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating.
He's a
Whether they
scholar,
have anything to do
Paimon.
with
Are you
gods
that
is neither
surprised that
here
he
nor
wants
there.
to know something?
Raman,
Or
what are you
learn
gonna do
something
about your
new?
men?
I'll just let them lay here. The Scarlet King will take care of his people. Right now, I'm going inside.
I suppose we should leave someone to take care of them? Hopefully. Or not. Ooh, it's a domain. I understand now. Am I gonna be forced to bring all those elements, or can I bring what I want? There are two types of domains. The ones that obligate that you must bring certain things, and the ones
It's
that are
full of
just
life here.
recommendations.
This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside.
Yeah, and there's so many plants. It's so pretty.
Sir Raman.
Huh? Me?
Do you see another Raman here?
Are you mocking me? What do you mean, sir?
Interpret it however you want.
You're a
But
sir,
there's
aren't you?
something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from the Scarlet King's civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Weird.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kind of strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Perhaps. Maybe the Scarlet King was less of a Scarlet King, you know, if you understand what I mean. Oh, okay. So it seems that there are... Oh, it's a rotation puzzle. I see. I want them all to glow blue. That one glows blue when I turn it to whatever that is. This turns all of them. Okay. This one seemed to turn individually. Okay, so that shouldn't be too bad. Oh no, this one also turns that one as well. Does this one turn individually? It does. Puzzles are so hard. Sometimes they are. What do I do? Activate it? Oh, it's an elevator. I gotta say, it's absolutely beautiful in here. They nailed the ruins aesthetic. I don't know why I keep wanting to say ruins instead of ruin. But, I don't know.
Scatter. Hi.
Okay. I mean, just some simple things like this aren't too much to ask.
Positions.
Alright, those weren't really anything meaningful. I managed to get some fruits and vegetables for some random reason. Oh, is this actually something of a fight?
With all my strength. Yeah.
It sucks that that one random one isn't on the ground, because it's kind of hard to hit them when they're up there.
Here.
Okay, now just the small ones. Shouldn't be too major.
Propagate. Fly. Hope I'll protect us.
And then one more. They seem to be able to float temporarily when not being hit. Might be an ability of theirs that I've just never noticed. Okay, a chest. I assume nothing major. Continuing on. Hopefully nothing too major. Oh, it opened? They're like doors. Weird. What causes them to slide around, I wonder? Do they just do it randomly? Or is it based on my movements? That was a fake wall. Oh? Ah, just more cabbages and stuff. Oh, it seems to be another room. That's kind of nice.
With all my strength.
Alright. Up it is, I guess. Reminds me of a lot of the event rooms that they've had.
Scatter. Spring forth. Let the show begin. Yeah. This dance is for you. Yeah.
Wow, that was kind of easy. Ah, I guess it's just a side thing. Oh, no. Oh, okay, so the message was different. I think I understood what it said. If I activate it and get off, I assume something will... Oh no, you cannot activate it and get off. Those walls are tight. I'll be honest, I didn't notice this right away. There's an activate elevator button. So if you're not on top of it, believe it or not, there's an elevator. So when it says go to the top of an elevator, I have to activate it while also it's once it's gone all the way down while it's going up, I have to hop on top, which makes a lot of sense when you read the hint that they do. I got that. It was just a question of how do I do that? Since there's like a force cage put on you. You just wait until it goes down and then you wait until it comes up. And then you jump on top. Makes a lot of sense when you know that there's an activate elevator button. Oh? That seems to be locked. Oh, they're all locked because of these. Makes a lot of sense.
Dance. Try this on for size.
I've tried to throw it twice, and both times when trying to throw it, it was removed. No boomerang for you.
Propagate. Germinate. Go, Barbara, go.
I want to increase the size, because with the increased size radius, it's always strong. Okay, so I have to now stop them at a specific time or something? Oh. Okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. It's just, yeah, now. Okay, so I did understand. Was there something else I was supposed to do? Or am I just supposed to go down again? Oh, I'm going even lower. That makes a lot of sense. But like, I was like, okay, you just stop them when they light up.
It's a sight to see. The Scarlet King's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of the Scarlet King.
Interesting. Maybe the Scarlet King has some ties to the Irminsul? Hey, look, it's it's a tree very similar to the Irminsul. I'm not allowed to sprint here, and I'm locked into the main character.
Oh, it looks so beautiful.
You gotta admit that this is one of the most beautiful areas in all of Genshin. Now at the foot. I assume a cutscene? Yes.
Wait.
No.
What's that?
I do want
A load of flowers.
to
And it looks like
there.
there's something among them.
It looks like a tomb.
These are Scarlet King runes.
Are
They
they?
left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
Oh,
What does
do you
it say?
happen to know it?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient Scarlet King script?
Are you that
Of course.
surprised?
Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
I'm not exactly surprised.
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
Maybe.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from the Scarlet King's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over and project it for everyone to see.
Oh.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
I understand that. We'll all understand after watching it. Is it gonna be a cutscene or something?
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. The Scarlet King brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping the Scarlet King to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former Dendro Archon and the Scarlet King were never enemies at all.
No, they weren't.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? She became so tiny in the end.
And you could say that she's becoming Lesser Lord Kusanale. So maybe it has nothing to do with Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanale, and they're actually the same person.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt the Scarlet King's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before.
I'm just so surprised.
The surviving followers of the Scarlet King all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refused to believe any of the rumors. The Scarlet King's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization. It was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans. Fighting, feuding, double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
When in truth, she was the one who saved you?
You were blinded by your prejudice.
Can you blame him?
If I hadn't seen this for myself, if I hadn't witnessed his last words with my own eyes, ears, and heart, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge, suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
Rahman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Aramites and I, what are we even fighting for?
What are you fighting for? Are you just fighting for the destruction of the people beyond the wall?
How you doing?
I'll live. Thanks. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to ask. I feel deeply ashamed of everything I've done. You'll get everything you're asking for. But please, give me some time. After everything that's happened here today, somehow I need to explain it to the others.
That's fine.
It's not gonna be easy.
Well, I guess that's for me to deal with. Dia, this is where our camp's located. Make a note of it.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow. I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same side.
The only enemy of ours is the Academia.
And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers. We'll share our other resources with you too.
Don't have to go too hard.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is
the sages.
Yes.
And not the gods.
Never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
Yes, he finally understands.
That must have been rough, but he seems to have figured things out now.
Rahman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat.
Yeah, so he
Bad
must
was
be
held back
quickly
by his belief
adapting
in
to the
Scarlet
truth.
King. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
This turns out to be far better than expected, but I just wanted to say, oh my god. Oh, that animation, it was so beautiful. I was not expecting it at all. I was like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be their normal work. But if that's their normal work nowadays, oh my goodness, that was amazing. Every last bit of that animation was so stylized. The music, the animation, it just all came together with such eloquence and just, it was so beautiful. I loved every second of it. I genuinely do, and I can't sing enough praises to that. That was genuinely really good. I honestly think so. Like, oh my goodness, that gave me like vibes of I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a huge Madoka Magica fan. I loved the original Madoka Magica, like first 3 movies. I haven't seen much of the side story, but it gave me vibes of like one of my favorite animes of all time in just one quick, like 50-second long animation. That was so beautiful. I genuinely can't express enough. That was just genuinely like, I'm just like, it's too good. It's too good. Too good. Anyway, I have to compose myself. I need to get through the rest of this. It's already going to be like a 2-hour-long video. Okay, breathe. Breathe. It's okay. I really liked it. Everyone knows that. This turned out better than expected.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep. We'll need all our energy tomorrow.
Yeah, we probably will. Relocating the people and then dealing with the Academia. What is it, Sino?
We're leaving!
Do you also know that your
Stop yelling.
descendants may lie actually with the village people? Might as well follow up that wonderful, wonderful wishes and everything with a good old, wishing session. That was genuinely one of the coolest animations. I honestly can't stop talking about it. I absolutely loved it. The music, the voice acting, everything. It was so good. If you guys are curious on what my progress towards getting C1 Nilu, I failed my 50-50. I'll be honest. I failed it. So I'm actually no closer than I was at the end of that last video, other than the fact of if I get a 5-star, it's confirmed to be Nilu, which is kind of nice, I guess. I mean, doesn't change anything major, but I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, no, I ended up with Tanari. I failed the 50-50. That was in a plan video for yesterday, but I ended up scrapping that video. So anyway, back onto the rest of the Archon Quest. It is a bit complicated for them, I bet. A lot of their philosophy has been uprooted in a single, 60-second animation. I know it was a bit longer than that, but...
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
Thank you.
I guess all I can say now is, thanks for agreeing to help.
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Anything against the sages.
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
Oh?
So
the
these
scholars
are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
I've been all over the desert trying to find you!
That's right.
Oh.
General Mahamatra? No. Make it quick, please. Swift and painful.
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turned pale like
I mean, he's a bit
You should have known
more
that I
violent.
would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
Of course not.
Not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to
other methods. Ooh,
So,
he's gonna literally
your superiors
torture
have kept you
them.
quite busy recently. Why? What are they?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Okay,
Don't
but
play
why?
Dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better start talking.
I mean, like, you don't know how to explain the thing you've been working on, then what
don't
have
wanna
you
make
been
things
working
any more
on?
difficult for yourself, do ya?
May I ask them a question?
Be my guest.
The sages are trying to create a new god, aren't they?
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything. You're serious, aren't you?
Yep.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The Academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving.
You're playing into the
but ever since
Fidui's
the death of
hands.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him
The doctor.
He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, do you wish to create a god?
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara.
We're well aware.
The Akasha's output. With the doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core. Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
It all makes sense, I mean.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail. Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Al-Haytham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
Maybe, maybe not. But the sage's end product won't be Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god.
And that's where they've been mistaken.
First discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. This forced them to accept that Greater Lord Rukkhadevata had indeed passed away. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's Gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
A dumb one. A very, very dumb one. They refuse to acknowledge her as a god,
right,
which is
let's try to keep our cool.
stupid.
If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Raman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
No problem. To beat up them is my goal, but I know that we're not going to get to the point of violence. Nahidia has more knowledge than most, believe it or not. They just may not understand her knowledge. She's also very crude and very basic, but
The village keepers
I
you found
suppose
have all
that
been returned to their
makes
homes.
them different.
And each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The two new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
No problem. We still have much more to go, though, before we're able to stop their plans. Despite everything, they think she left her people, even though they don't realize that she's been saving them.
Something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about something else.
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh, Paimon's so coming with you.
Of course she is.
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
That's above. You're not talking about work, are you?
I wanted to share everything I know with all of you.
So you were still withholding some information?
Yes, I'm sorry, I had my reasons. Explain to them the situation between the god of the new god and all of that. So much text. trying to move so you guys can see it all, but it's kind of hard. Guess I could just...
Even though we lived through all
the
of
second
this
I
firsthand,
disappear.
it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
I mean, that's everything we've experienced so far in Sumeru.
What a whirlwind of a story. I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there will be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
I suppose.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense.
Yes.
We cannot allow it to continue.
So, everyone, are we on the same page?
I agree.
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
No matter what lies ahead.
Well, let's brainstorm.
I'm gonna have to fight Scaramouche one-on-one. I know it
The
already.
next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
Is that the end of the quest? Yes, it is. Of course, everything will be continued next time. Oh, yeah. They give you another constellation for completing this one as well. I'll need to, of course. My goal is to eventually have all the constellation stuff, but I'm pretty sure you can only get up to the 5th one currently, just because there's not all the dendro seeds. But yes, in the end, we managed to achieve what I was setting out to do. It only took 2.5 hours for me. I assume it's going to end up being a lot longer video, and I'm going to have to edit a bunch of this out, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do. But, yeah, no, that's the end of Archon Quest Act 4. Can't wait till they release the next few ones in the following updates. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll make sure to cover the next few, you know, story quests and other things that will come along as time goes. But I'll make sure to cover all those in time. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and yeah, I'll see you all later. Love you guys, and goodbye!